All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Roshi.
Thank you for being here. We're getting ready to wrap up our session, and please like and subscribe. Those of you watching at home, appreciate it. Glad you're joining us. I've been pondering what to give the last Dharma talk of the session about, and what came to my mind was the paradox of Dukkha. And I'm verbally trademarking that right now. So when I write the Dukkha paradox, none of you can write it first. Steal it from me. Who remembers what Dukkha means?
Suffering.
Suffering, that's correct. Suffering or discomfort, that's right. Most of the time this is translated only as suffering, but it means more than that. It's discomfort, it's dissatisfaction, it's, my wife calls it the itchy sweater feeling. Like when your sweaters, you have a wool sweater on and it's just a little, ugh. You're not really suffering, it just doesn't feel good. We're in Sedona, Arizona, where it's presently over 100 degrees out. So when you step out into it, it's not like you're suffering. Maybe if you had to walk in it for 5 hours with no water, you'd start to suffer, but it's just kind of uncomfortable, right? It is so important to the Buddha's teachings that he put it in two of his prominent lists, the Four Noble Truths and the Three Marks of Existence. Kind of reminds me, for those of us in 12-step recovery, there's actually only 11 steps. Did you all know that? There's only 11 steps. Do you know why?
Because the 12th one is just reaching enlightenment and carrying on the message.
Nope, that one's an important one.
Okay.
There's one that repeats. Do you know which one repeats? Do any of you guys know which one repeats?
The inventory?
That's correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Redemption. Thank you.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Yes, redemption. You redeemed yourself. Step 4 and step 10 are the same thing. We take a searching and fearless moral inventory in step 4, and then we continue to take inventory in step 10. There's only 11 steps, but Bill and Bob thought inventory was so important, they put it in there twice. In the same way, Dukkha, whenever we talk about Dukkha, we have to recognize the Buddha was really into this notion that life is permeated with Dukkha. He put this in there twice. Here's a good example. Let's say that you covet an item or a person. Has everyone had that experience? Something or someone that you long for. That whole scenario is riddled with dukkha, because here's why. While you are longing for them or it, you are having dukkha because you feel incomplete and you want this thing or person. Let's say it's a person. Then there's some kind of approach and you're not sure if they feel the same way or not. Then if they don't feel this, so all of that is dukkha up to that point. It's uncomfortable, it's you don't know what's going on. Then if they like you back, yay! But then you have dukkha of having to navigate the relationship. I remember falling in love with a woman many years ago. It wasn't Maureen. Don't tell her. She actually knows this person. Anyway. I was just smitten. And it turned out that she felt the same toward me. Well, great. Everything's great. Except she's an extreme introvert and she was interested in a very limited kind of relationship where we would get together maybe once a week. I'm super relational. If I'm in love with you, I want to see you every day. So now we have a rub, which we were young and stupid and we didn't navigate well, and it all ended in heartbreak and tragedy. Maybe more mature versions of us would have navigated it better, or maybe it just wasn't meant to be. She's happily married and I am too, and maybe she only sees her husband once a week. I don't know. But even if it's not unrequited love, there's still pain involved because you have to then figure out what to do, and then you're worried about losing the person. And then sometimes you do lose the person. I haven't lost Maureen yet. I'd be very surprised if I lose her. But one of us is going to die probably before the other one. I sure hope for my son's sake that it's not at the same time. So, dukkha. Dukkha, dukkha, dukkha. Even though I married my dream woman, dukkha. Even though prior to that, I wanted this person and she wanted me back, dukkha. I've had the good fortune of acquiring a couple of guitars that I really like that are pretty valuable, and I love them. But what am I worried about? Worried someone will steal them. I'm worried the house will burn down. They're irreplaceable. Dukkha. You guys follow what I'm saying? You can't get away from it. What are some other examples of unavoidable dukkha? Where no matter the outcome, there's dukkha. I'll give you another one while you think about it, and then I want an example from each of you. Being a Zen teacher. If you have any ambition and or you have a passion for the Dharma and or you have a passion for teaching, at some point in your career as a Zen student, you decide you want to be a teacher. I remember before I was a teacher, my teacher at the time was making someone else a teacher, and he referred to it as giving her the iron yoke. You guys don't know what a yoke is? It goes around the neck of a beast of burden. He referred to the brown rakusu, which is the teacher's rakusu, as the iron yoke. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound very nice. Why are we not excited about making a new teacher? When my teacher handed me this rakusu as part of Inka Shome and made me a Roshi, his words were, and I quote, "Good luck." Why? Well, because it's tremendously joyful to be a Zen teacher and to bring the Dharma to all of you and to all of you. It's one of the biggest joys of my life. And it's very difficult. Because you have to consider, when I walk in the Zendo to give a talk, I never know who's going to be here. This morning we had a lot of people. Now we have a few people. However, the people that are here are more interested, I would say, than some of the people that were here this morning. Right? When you come into Dokusan, I never know if you're going to be needing to be corralled or needing to be encouraged. Never know. It's my job to meet you where you are. Not to mention the fact that sometimes students just stop training with no explanation. Or sometimes they stop training and they're really upset with you. And they might tell you why or they might not. It's awful. And you have to just be fresh with the next person. All right, well, maybe this person's gonna really need this and I want to give it to them. I want to offer it. I've had the good fortune to have 2 Dharma heirs, 2 students who became teachers and are now teaching, and that's a wonderful feeling. It's hard not to get attached. A good way to test a Zen teacher's level of attachment is go be their student for like 5 years and be a really good student and then leave and see how they handle it. Probably they won't handle it well. And you go, see, you still have attachments too. We all have attachments. We all have agendas. We all have things we want to see happen. You can't get out of it. Am I delighted to be a Zen teacher? Yes. Does it feel fruitional? Yes. Was it a lot of hard work to get there? Yes. I love doing it. And it's difficult. So even if you get what you want, it's difficult. If you don't get what you want, it's difficult. What are some other examples?
I was thinking of like any kind of accomplishment, getting a new job, getting to go relocate somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that provokes change.
Mm-hmm.
Bring on some sort of discomfort or suffering.
Very good.
And that's exciting.
Yes, that's a great example. So exciting, positive change is still stressful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great example of how dukkha is present even when things are going well. Great example. Others?
Come into your dream job or dream career, and then you have to step up.
Yeah, dream job or dream career, now you have to step up. Great. That's a great example. Maureen and I have a new business and it's going very well, and we just booked some business that is going to be very helpful from a revenue standpoint, and it's going to be really interesting and fun and hard. And I think it's going to really make a positive impact. It's also going to be what my father-in-law used to call getting paid to learn, because this is a service that I think we will offer frequently in the future, but we haven't offered it yet. So everything about that is good. The only problem is her mom's pelvis is broken and she doesn't have a lot of extra bandwidth right now. So she let me know earlier today that she's a little overwhelmed at the prospect of doing this piece of work. To your point, got to step up. It's great news. Now we have to step up. What about this side of the room?
The first thing that comes to mind is trying to navigate my relationship with my parents.
Your relationship with your parents. Yes. You mean you're not the only person of 8 billion people in the world that doesn't have a complex relationship with your parents? Darn, I thought I'd found the guy. You love them, right? It's complex, right?
Yeah.
You trigger each other.
Yes.
I feel you, brother. Right. My dad watches these Dharma talks religiously, so hello. Sometimes my dad and I get really upset with each other. We had quite a big fight the day after Christmas this year. Or was it 2 days after Christmas? I don't remember. Both with the best of intentions, we just kind of got into it and we triggered each other. And it was good and we figured it out, we worked it out. But I wouldn't get that upset with anyone in this room because I don't have the history and the baggage that I have with all of you. You don't have the code to my upset in the same way he does. But I've also got the code to his upset. I don't intentionally press it, but sometimes it just happens. Great example. And I love my dad very much. Never want to upset him. I don't think he wants to upset me. It just happens. I remember years and years ago before I was married, I was hanging out with one of my mentors and someone said to him, like, how are things going with your wife? He was like, well, you know, we bring out the best and worst in each other, like all married people. It's true. Mostly Maureen and I bring out the best, but family is, you know, parents, spouse, children, brother, sister, whatever. What about you?
I feel like to some extent, pretty much anything in life involves dukkha because of impermanence. And you can get your dream job, and then you get there and you have expectations about what it will be, and inevitably not every single one of those is going to be met, and then maybe you're asked to step up. If you get a new job or move, if you have parents, if you take Advil, if you eat food, if you clean your apartment, at some point it's going to be messy, or the Advil's going to wear off, or you play pickleball and you lose, dukkha. If you win, then you want to win more, dukkha.
You're really speaking my language with the pickleball addiction.
I had to get everyone in the room.
I appreciate that. I've become hopelessly addicted to pickleball. It's all I want to do all the time.
And teach the Dharma.
That's maybe, not so much. Mostly pickleball. Yeah, but we talked in a recent Dharma talk about, like, as one ages, you know, I'm 48 now and I'm much happier than I've ever been, and I wouldn't trade this age for any other age. There are concessions, though. Don't have as much energy as I used to. I'm always a little sore somewhere.
Dukkha.
Dukkha. And you're exactly right. Every situation has dukkha in it. Every situation. That's exactly right. I can think of an example that directly ties to you if you don't mind me pointing it out.
Go for it.
Well, you've been really enjoying having your first sesshin, but you're also exhausted, right?
Dukkha.
That's right, dukkha, because you've gone hard and now you're tired. You got a lot out of it too. by the way, all of you that have made it through this have got something on Bernie Glassman, who was Maizumi Roshi's first Dharma heir, giant in American Zen, wrote some amazing books, wonderful man. I got to meet him once. Bailed on his first sesshin, couldn't handle it. But he came back. He came back for more and became an eminent teacher in this lineage. So you guys have accomplished something that an amazing Zen master didn't, gutting it out through your first sesshin. So, this is all a bit of a bummer, isn't it? Can't get away from the dukkha. This is one of the reasons why I was so turned off by Buddhism when I first started learning about it. I considered myself to be a Taoist for a long time, and I think I got into Zen because Zen is very influenced by Taoism, and there's a lot of Taoism in Zen. But I remember thinking to myself, oh, the Buddhists are so pessimistic. Life is suffering. Can't get away from suffering. That's not my experience. I have a lot of joy, a lot of really wonderful positive things. It's not all suffering. And that's correct. But what I wasn't kind of seeing was like, but the joy then passes and you have sadness around that. Or you're scared to lose the thing you have acquired, so there's suffering there. I find it very helpful to just kind of have this baseline of like, yep, there's dukkha. I'm working with a couple right now who are very upset with each other. And it occurred to me today as I was speaking with the gentleman in this couple that he just doesn't understand that he's going to have dukkha in his life. So I need to address this with him next time we speak. Like, she's not the reason why you have dukkha. You have a lot of dukkha around her behavior, but even if she became a saint overnight and fulfilled your every need, you'd still have dukkha. You see this all the time, people blaming other people or the situation for having dukkha. And it's very freeing to kind of be like, well, if it wasn't this, it would be something else. So it kind of puts things in perspective. And here's the dukkha paradox. You cannot eliminate all dukkha from your life. You can't. You cannot. However, I've done some careful statistical analysis over the course of my 30 years practicing Zen, and I have come to the conclusion that it is possible to eliminate 87.3% of your dukkha.
Can you show me the p-value for that?
The p-value is 9 squared. 87.3% of your dukkha is created by your thoughts and behavior. The rest is just being human. So you will never escape dukkha, but listen, I want to be very clear. This is not a commercial for me by any stretch. This is a commercial for this practice. Because I used to be so unhappy that I pondered what it would be like to not be alive. And at times I have very carefully considered that. Never tried, but things have gotten very dark at times. So the fact that not only do I very much want to be alive, not only like but love myself when I used to hate myself, and suffer so little that sometimes I go days without any dukkha, and then when it comes, I'm like, son of a biscuit. There it is again. I thought I had licked this thing. That's how good my life is. Not a commercial for me, a commercial for this practice. Because over time, when you do this practice and you keep doing it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you receive really good instruction, and you study the koans, and you listen to, at this point, I must have given 500 Dharma talks. And I'm sure that I have heard at least 1,000, probably many more. And eventually it gets in there. And you go, oh, right, I'm making this worse right now. And then you stop doing whatever you're doing that's making it worse. Or, I was just talking with one of you in Dukkha about this. You see, oh, I'm really mad. I don't like how I'm being treated right now, and you can kind of take a minute and breathe and sit with it and go, well, I don't know what's going on here. They're probably just having a bad day. Nah, this probably isn't really about me. They're probably gonna apologize. I don't need to get into this. I don't need to get into a mud fight with this person. That's not a big deal. Maizumi Roshi, the original Japanese teacher in our lineage who brought the Dharma, this Dharma from Japan, someone asked him, why do you sit zazen? And he said, to become more stupid. Isn't that great? I want to become more stupid. Because if I'm stupid, then I don't know what's going on. Because when I know what's going on, it starts to really limit things. I know why you said that. I know why you did that. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're judging me on. Very messy. Very messy. That really cranks up the dukkha, see? If you're just kind of like, well, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's bothering them. I don't know why they're being that. It's just not my concern. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. There's less dukkha. And you can go, hey, I'm really sorry about what I said. Let me apologize. Less dukkha. Instead of, I'm not apologizing. You were mean to me. I can't control what she does. I can only control what I do. Very helpful. So this dukkha paradox is, cannot eliminate it. You cannot. You will always have dukkha no matter what. Sorry to tell you that. It's just true. It's a fool's errand to try to completely eliminate it. And people spend a lot of time, money, and energy trying to eliminate it. You can't. It's like trying to get rid of your shadow. It's not going to happen. But you can get rid of a lot of it. Think about a time that you were injured or sick and you were in bed and you couldn't go do all the things you wanted to do. Couldn't go to the Taylor Swift concert. Couldn't go to the discotheque. Couldn't go to the movies. All the things you wanted to do. And that stinks, right? Not fun. And then think about the moment that you kind of were like, well, I'm here. Might as well stop fighting it. We've all been there, right? Well, it's kind of nice actually to have some time alone. Kind of nice to have a rest. I'm going pretty hard. I think I kind of needed this. That is called acceptance. Oh, okay, this is what's happening. Then less dukkha. Dukkha goes down. Sitting there going, this isn't fair. This isn't right. I shouldn't have to go through this. Dukkha goes up. Right? Does this make sense? It's all how we see it. It's all how we think about it. It's all how we observe it. And you pointed out earlier, impermanence is why there's dukkha. But also impermanence is why there's not so much dukkha. Because if you really study the Dharma and you really observe your mind and you start to understand, oh, I'm getting really bent out of shape of something that's like insignificant in the grand scheme of my life. It's not going to matter. That guy that just cut me off, I'll have forgotten about him this time tomorrow. Why am I getting all bent out of shape? I'm not saying you shouldn't get upset, and I'm not saying you should repress it when you are upset. I told someone in Dukkha earlier who's angry over a variety of things to lean into the anger, not try to get away from it, because the anger is lingering because this person is not dealing with it. Trying to avoid it. You lean into it, it will pass faster. Impermanence. Yesterday was my mom's birthday. My mom has not been alive for 2.5 years. I don't know that I'm ever going to get over that. I miss her constantly. I'm less sad today than I was yesterday, but I mean, I let those emotions flow. And I tell you something, I woke up this morning and I slept so well. I think because I let those emotions out. The emotion wants to move, it wants to shift. But we resist, so then it gets stuck. More dukkha. So the impermanence is both the problem and the cure. The medicine and the sickness are the same thing. And impermanence is also helpful to help you understand, like, let's go back to the guitars. I love and appreciate the guitars, but I'm scared I'm going to lose them. But I am going to lose them. For sure. No question, eventually. So then I enjoyed them more knowing I'm going to lose them. No problem. Thoughts or questions? Is this, go ahead.
A lot of this stems sort of from like expectations. Like we expect sort of to not get cut off in traffic, so when it happens, dukkha.
1000%.
Tying back into like the I sit to get more stupid.
Yes.
You know, substituting more stupid for relinquishing expectations of how things
Right.
should be.
Exactly. Think about the relationship with your parents you mentioned earlier. Or has everyone in here been in a relationship with another person, romantic relationship at one point or another? 87.3% of your problems in a relationship come from your expectations of your partner.
At a minimum.
Sometimes it's a lot more. Going back to this session that I had earlier, my client was just describing an interaction with his wife last night, and it was like, he's out, he comes home, she's home. There's expectations on both sides. They're not met, fight. Now, I'm not saying that expectations are not to be expected. You're going to have expectations. It's not fair to expect yourself not to have expectations, but just to kind of know what they are. Go, oh, I'm kind of expecting this. If I don't get it, I'm probably going to be upset, right? It's all about just making all this stuff conscious. That's why I said earlier today, you know, we meditate so we can be mindful. They're not the same thing. The Eightfold Path that the Buddha taught as a way to reduce suffering, meditation and mindfulness are two of the eight. They're not the same. We meditate so we can be mindful. So being mindful of my expectations, trying to reduce my expectations. You can't eliminate them. That's another paradox. You cannot eliminate your expectations. But if you're aware of them and you're kind of like, okay, I can roll with this, not a big deal. That helps with parenting, it helps with partner, it helps with your parents, it helps with work. If you go into work with don't know mind and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen today, open. Customer gets mad at you, you're kind of like, well, okay. But if you go into work and you're like expecting people to behave a certain way and they don't, then you're going to get more upset. So yeah, that's a very astute observation.
How would you differentiate between expectations and standards or boundaries that keep you healthy?
That's a great question. How do you differentiate between standards and boundaries that keep you healthy versus expectations? Well, in the identity of the relative and absolute, which we were chanting earlier today, it says, do not judge by any standards. And I asked, so I've had the pleasure and privilege of studying with a number of really great teachers, but the two that I studied with most intensively were Shishin Roshi and Daishin Roshi. Daishin is my current teacher who gave me transmission. Shishin, I lived at his Zen center for many years. And I asked him during a session once about that line in the identity of relative and absolute. Do not judge by any standards. But we have to have standards of our friends and how we're treated, and like, as an employer, I can't just let anyone work for me, and I can't just put up with any behavior from any of my employees. And he said, well, you're overly focused on the word standards, you focus on the word judge. So you can have standards and not judge, just be kind of like, well, this isn't up to standards, I need to deal with it, as opposed to like, well, you should know better. Like, think about it in a relationship and you're like, well, this isn't working for me, versus this isn't working for me, right? Boundaries. Don't get me started on boundaries. I could give a whole Dharma talk on boundaries.
Go for it.
Please.
Next week, I will give a Dharma talk on boundaries. Now I know what it will be about. Stay tuned. Short version is we need boundaries, but people either over or underdo their boundaries. I think if you have really good boundaries, people don't even notice that they're there. They're just there. It's just understood. No problem. If you say, I have a boundary around that, it means it's a weak boundary. If it was a strong boundary, it would be so obvious. Anyway, it's an excellent question. I would say if you feel that a situation is creating more dukkha for you and or the other party, probably it's not the best and it needs to be dealt with either by withdrawing from it or negotiating it. That's different from having an expectation of going, I mean, you guys all came here with an expectation that I would give you a relatively entertaining, relatively easy to understand talk. I could come in and I could be really boring, or I could be really esoteric, or I could be really long-winded, or it's reasonable for you to expect that from me because that's what I try to give you guys every time. That's why you presumably keep coming back. It's a reasonable expectation. I expected that I would have some number of students in here that wanted to hear what I had to say and would interact with me around it. Those are reasonable expectations. But I could get myself in a real snit by going, I spent a lot of time in the Dharma talk and only 4 people came to hear it and only 4 people watched it on YouTube. Or I could just go, well, it's very helpful for these 4 people, I hope. I do not get attached to how many people come to the talks. I used to, but it's just a waste of time, waste of energy. Things got way more mellow with Marina and I when I realized that I need to just be a good friend to her and not have all these expectations. And just flow, just go with the flow. But if she starts being super abusive, I'm gonna be like, what gives? I'm not just gonna be like, that's cool, right? But again, there's that curiosity that comes from not knowing. So if she's behaving in a way I don't like, I can either go, this is not acceptable, I have a boundary, and go stay in a hotel. Or I can be like, what's going on with you? You don't seem like yourself. More than likely, she's gonna go, I'm so sorry, I'm just stressed out about blah, 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 blah. Right? Curiosity, inquisition, that's the wrong word. Inquiry, not inquisition, inquiry. Versus demands, weaponized boundaries, assumptions. If you find yourself saying, will you always do that? Any kind of hyperbole, probably that's expectation, not boundaries. And I've told you guys a million times not to engage in hyperbole. If you find yourself going, that didn't feel too good. Hey, what's that about? What's going on? That's different. And if you find yourself saying, that doesn't really work for me, that's different. You always do that and you have no regard for how I feel. And I have a boundary around that. It's unacceptable. That's kind of like, okay. You're on the Dukkha train now, right? But, to be clear, I don't want you guys to just take shit from people. It's just a question of how you don't take the shit. You're creating more or less suffering. We'll also do a whole Dharma talk about that, mindfulness of speech.
Go for it.
2 Wednesdays from now. You guys will have to help me remember. What's next week's? Boundaries. And the week after that, mindfulness of speech. Good, this is helpful. I hate having to come up with my own topics. I'd much rather just talk about what you want me to talk about. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
My pleasure.
That's my
Thank you.
comment.
Thank you for coming. All right, guys. Well, let's say the 4 vows and then we'll take a break and then we'll finish up. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.